What's cooking, my people? My name is Cyblade, and welcome back to another RWBY What If discussion video. Part 4 of What If Beerus from Dragon Ball Super adopted Weiss from RWBY. Sorry, it's been quite a while since my last one, but I've been sidetracked and just a lot of things going on. But with the upcoming battle of Blake versus Mikasa, death battle, which Blake is totally gonna win, by the way. Sorry to Attack on Titan fans, but there is no way Mikasa's even hitting Blake. Fittingly, Blake is actually going to be the star of the first portion of this discussion, Volume 4, as everyone else, all four surviving members of Team Juniper, along with RWBY and Yang, are mostly, they're doing what Yang was in Volume 4 and staying home training to get Team Juniper up to speed with all the key powers and everything that Weiss taught them, so that they'll be basically all on Cinder's level by the next time they meet, hopefully. And what about Weiss? Well, she went back home to Beerus too. Weiss saw with his, magic, all-seeing stick that, she got injured, so he brought her back to Beerus's world. She's been resting up, and now she's doing some training too, learning some extra abilities Beerus hadn't yet taught her, such as the Hakai. Well, Beerus isn't, the most sentimental guy out there. He's raised Weiss all this time, so he's a little bit overprotective of her, so she's also going to have to convince him to allow her to return to Remnant. That could be a problem. We all know Beerus is pretty stuck in his ways. So, like I said, the focus right now is mainly on Blake, who, like in the original, is going back home to Menagerie in order to get her mind and everything straightened out. And just like in the original, during the cruise ride, they're attacked by the sea dragon. I forget the name of it, but you all know the one I'm talking about. The sea dragon that attacked the boat in Volume 4. So yeah, but this time, again, because of the key and the fact Blake can fly, it's a straight up 1v1 Blake against this giant flying dragon thing. Sun does reveal himself, but he gets put on the sidelines pretty quick. Blake tells him, sit down, shut up, I'll deal with you later, and flies around. And she has actually discovered the ability that Trunks did in Dragon Ball Super, channeling Ki into Gamble's Shroud in order to make it a giant Ki sword, basically, which she uses to cut off the dragon's wings and stop it from flying. So it crashes down, and she shoots a bunch of, basically death beams, finger lasers, at it and just turns it basically into Swiss cheese and kills it on her own. Much to the surprise of all the crew members and Sun himself. I mean, he knew something was different about her, but he'd never seen the key stuff in action. So, yeah. Quite shocking for him. So they meet back up on the boat. Blake still slaps him and almost knocks him off the boat because she's roughly 3 times as strong as she was in the actual show. And everything pretty much goes as it did in the show from there up until the point of Ilya showing up. I was considering, as soon as Fennec and Corsac showed up, that Blake got on edge, maybe delivered a warning, but as far as they knew, they didn't. They seemed peaceful and, actually, like what they said, it was just Adam's branch of the White Thing that went rogue, so. And her father probably wouldn't like her just randomly going after. Gira seemed to be on good terms with them, so. Yeah, Blake couldn't just attack them. So, anyways, like I said, fast forward to Ilya showing up, but this time, once again, Blake 1v1s herself and captures Ilya no problem. But then, thanks to her mind-reading powers, because remember, you can apparently do that with Ki. Goku did it to Krillin back in the Frieza saga. So there's no reason Blake can't do it.
Lord, now, reading your mind.
Wait, what?
Haha, that thing was a guy.
They really should have brought that back. That could have been very useful for many times in Dragon Ball Z and Super, but oh well, chalk that up to Akira Toriyama for getting a lot. Anyways, so they now have essentially what they need to, or at least in Blake's mind, to go take down Corsac and Fennec. So, yeah, she's going behind her dad's back right now, with a bit coming, because it's going to be hard to convince him that she can read minds and everything. Like, Sun and even her mother are fully on board with this, because, well, if she thinks there's a danger to her family, you could assume the mother would be on board, but Gear's gonna take more convincing, so yeah, that's pretty much where Volume 4 ends, because it was pretty much at the end of Volume 4 anyways. Now into Volume 5, RWBY and... Oh, I forgot to mention that Salem, due to everything she heard from Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury, they did get a taste of the key, Cinder especially, so Salem's pretty interested. She figures if they can get the secret to Key, then surely her followers can learn it and be more deadly than ever. So, once again, she sent Tyrion after RWBY, mostly because she still wants the Silver Eyes, but just anyone who could get that info. So, with Team Juniper and Ree together, that makes them the pretty obvious target. But at this point now, they've all learned to fly, and along with Crow, who's been still sitting around watching from a distance, even though, yeah, they were at home and safe, so they didn't really have to, but is important. So now Crow goes with them, and they head to a menagerie and get the what's what from Lionheart. And he's lying out his heart, as we all know. That didn't make sense, did it? Oh well, anyways, so eventually the kids, they were again filled in on Salem and everything, because they'd clearly find out, with Cinder and her magic, something else was at play here, so they'd want to know, so Ty and Crow told them, so. I'm sorry, I just realized I'm doing this horribly out of place, but that's what happens when you focus on one aspect over another. And also from Volume 4, Oscar, still, Ozpin went to him and everything, so now he went to Mistral to meet up with Crow as initially planned. So, yeah. Then Oscar meets up with the gang eventually, and he starts learning the key stuff as well. Back to Blake again. She went after Corsic and Fennec. Once again, 2v1 them. Or them the two, she the one, but. And once again, did the mind reading thing. Found out that they were going to attack Haven. And this time, since she had gotten a bunch of evidence from their place that they were indeed connected with the hostile White Fang, and with how easily she seemed to have overpowered them totally beaten and bruised, and her full aura, never taken any damage, they're pretty convinced that, hey, if she leads us, we got this. And she got her army much sooner than she did in the original show. Skipping ahead to the Battle of Haven now, it more or less goes the same to start up with, but once the fighting goes down, it's pretty obvious that despite the... Actually, wait, no, I think that the heroes did still have the numbers. Yeah, they definitely had the numbers. Especially with Beerus still around. So, yeah, it turns out they're pretty much wiping the floor with the villains, and Raven actually has to bust out her maiden powers a lot sooner in order to compensate. Sadly blowing her cover and putting and greatly angering Cinder that, they tried to trick her. But also because of this and Yang being present for the whole thing, we finally, well, she was already, but because there's, again, more people, Jean, Pyrrha, all them, Mercury and Emerald are quickly, put against someone And then Hazel steps up, and we finally get the fight that we will sadly never get in the actual show now of Yang versus Hazel. I could imagine it. He'd have to break out his dust early, use all of his tricks. He'd probably have to do exactly what he did against Salem. Only this time, instead of Yang turning into black paste with every hit, between her aura and ki, she's more than capable of tanking it, and, of course, powering up her semblance. So eventually, we get a moment where the two of them just clash fists, and Hazel's entire arm basically turns to dust. Not the actual full arm, just the bones in it. Seeing that the fight isn't on their side even remotely anymore, the two maidens head back, decide to, head down to the vault to unlock it and get the relic before the heroes can. Then, of course, Cinder betrays Raven, but with her transformation into a bird, she actually manages to dodge the attack that would have killed Vernal and fights Cinder, and it basically goes just like what it did in the show. So, only this time, up above, like I said, the good guys had the numbers, and they're all basically at least twice as strong as the villains at this point. It was no contest. They're all beaten. They considered going all after the two maidens all at once, but then remembered the threat of the White Fang outside. So, with a couple of good key blasts to the door, Team RWBY breaks out while Juniper decided to go after the maidens. Only they're quite surprised to see, RWBY is quite surprised to see that basically the White Fang's already taken care of. Ilya's, taking out all the bombs. The army, or Faunus militia of Blake's, has gathered along with the Mistral police force, and all the White Fang are taken in, including Adam at this point, because when Blake hits him with that overhead smash, he was done. That wiped out his aura and knocked him out. I only just now realized that in my in the Volume 3 review, that Adam was actually defeated and Yang didn't lose her arm or anything. So, real quick, we're just gonna say that this was a new, equally as hateful member of the White Fang who basically did everything Adam did in Volume 4 onward. So, yeah, he got taken down too. So, basically, Solution's taken care of outside. Inside is taken care of, but the twist here is Lionheart does not die because Ozpin and Crow both decided to stay behind and take him down. So, yeah, he got taken down. They found the Seer Grim, and between the two of them, again, no contest. It was just completely destroyed. So, yeah. Now, finally, like I said, the fight between the maidens went relatively the same, and Cinder is frozen and thrown down the pit. Raven does unlock the door again and goes for the relic, but this time Juniper shows up and just chases her off. No mushy, sappy stuff between Raven and Yang. No Raven crying, being, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." Yeah, none of that. She's still the same a-hole who left Yang, and just the most despicable character you're gonna find next to Cinder and Salem. And yeah, so she leaves on bad terms. I'm not letting her get redeemed. No, she did not earn it whatsoever. People keep wanting her to come back. I hope if she comes back, it's just for Cinder to rip the soul maiden out of her. Yeah, I don't care. That's how much I hate her. So, that's volumes 4 and 5. Ilya still gets redeemed in the end, I should say. She realizes her friendship with Blake is important and all that. And Tyrion's just running around Menagerie trying to figure out, or not Menagerie, Mistral, to try and figure out where the heck these guys are. And just having absolutely no luck. That idea, just him running around screaming, "Where are they?" just puts a smile on my face. And Lionheart lives, gets arrested. Minor change, but still probably could be useful. He could probably inform them what Salem's plans are in the future. And while he would inform them that, like Cinder told us in Volume 7, Vacuo was supposed to be the next target, but Lionheart also could have known something that Cinder didn't, or just out of convenience, since Atlas is the closer kingdom and they can't close the door to the vault without Raven, they just head to Atlas to keep the lamp safe. So that's where we are. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know I kind of didn't think this all the way through, flip-flopped a little bit, going between volumes 4 and 5, but still, hopefully I did good enough. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this and want to see more, go ahead and slash that subscribe button. If you like this video, give a quick cut to the like button. Leave a comment down below. Share it around with all your friends. Be sure to click the notification bell to notify you whenever I post a video, as few and far between as those are on this channel. And be sure to check out my gaming channel. Follow me on Facebook. Then I'll see you in the next video. But until then, my people, stay sharp.